Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to change the way the world eats. My name is Shurina. I'm a certified nutritionist, health, nutrition, brain performance, productivity coach, and just someone with a lot of passion for helping you to learn, guys, how to use nutrition and lifestyle tools and environment adjustments to feel, look, and do your absolute freaking best. Because guys, life will be challenging, right? But also it's going to be so exciting and adventurous. But we only get to live it fully when we embody our body, our brain fully, right? When we are feeling alive, like we have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and zest. That's when life really opens up. And that's when, no matter how challenging it gets, it feels good still. Even challenging times. And again, we are all going through some challenging times all the time. That's just how life is. And there is nothing bad about it. It's actually good. It makes us feel more and learn more and move forward. So, no matter how challenging or, how beautiful, how adventurous the life is, we can only enjoy it if we are in our full health and capacity to feel and experience. And guys, why I'm so passionate about the brain and why I'm transitioning more and more into brain performance and brain nutrition, because our brain is this machine that analyzes, that gets all the input from all of our sensory organs, from sight to smell to hearing to touch, everything, all the feelings, all the sensations that come into our life, they all get into the brain for analysis. And then after that, we get certain emotions, certain physical sensations, right? And when the brain starts to malfunction or it doesn't work optimally, it doesn't matter where we are, what we do, our whole life gonna be kind of dull and kind of weird and kind of upsetting. So that's why we all need to focus on improving our brain's health. And what's so amazing about our brain's health, brain's nutrition, is that brain is the most nutrient demanding organ in the body, from the perspective of how much energy it needs daily to how many nutrients, how many different nutrients and variety of those nutrients our brain needs on a daily basis compared to other organs and systems, right? The point is, when you feed your brain right, the rest of the body will be so happy. You're gonna be fit. You're not gonna be struggling with weight loss, with your fitness, nothing. If you feed your brain right, by science, the science that we don't have like full picture, not at all, but we have a pretty good idea compared to earlier years. Nutrition is quite a young science. First vitamins were discovered only at the beginning of 20th century. But this science that we have, if you follow it, if you put it into simple practices, simple daily practices, your brain gonna thrive and your body will follow. And that's where your life will start unlocking itself through adventures and challenges and anything and everything in between. So this was the introduction to why brain nutrition is so important. And now the practical part of today's podcast is one of the most essential nutrient for brain performance, health, size, productivity, happiness. One of the most essential nutrients that we need to get into our diets daily, preferably. If you can, you should. Omega-3 fatty acids, and specifically marine omega-3 fatty acids. Those EPA, DHAs, and they also have these, long names. Those fatty acids make our brain happy, healthy, and big, robust, and productive. Yesterday, I was listening to a podcast with a neuroscientist from Stanford, Andrew Huberman, and he has his own lab. He is basically a celebrity neuroscientist because I think he has either 1 million subscribers on Instagram, and he's a scientist. He's not like dancing in front of you. So science-based tools. This guy is amazing when it comes to communicating science and putting into a practical application that all of us can do, right? So his podcast, and he invited to his podcast Rhonda Patrick, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She is one of the leading experts. She's been published in so many very prestigious science magazines. She studies nutrition and cold and heat and fasting and all of these different nutrition and some lifestyle protocols to improve our longevity, our long-term health, but also to improve the function of all of our systems. And of course, brain is a huge part of this system, right? Brain, again, is the most advanced, the most nutrient hungry organ in our body. So they got together, neuroscientist and this amazing nutrition professor, but she's so much more than that. And they were talking about nutrition and heat and cold and supplements and nutrients and how it all works and what we all should do. And of course they're themselves human beings, so they share the information that they have and see where each of them can improve their practice. And one of the key nutrients that they started to talk about earlier in the podcast is, of course, those omega-3 fatty acids, the key nutrients for our brain. And they shared what they recommend to people to do daily, people who are interested in maintaining the best, not just brain health and performance, but also overall body health and performance. Omega-3 fatty acids, unless I mention otherwise, I'm talking about marine omega-3 fatty acids, those that come from fish or algae oil, usually, because you can't really eat so much seaweed basically to get your omega-3s. And one example that they talked about was about the health expectancy of people with different omega-3 cellular indexes. So there are some labs that basically can measure the amount of omega-3s in our red blood cells. And it's kind of a more complex test unless you order it. It's not what you're going to get on any of your regular lab tests. And it shows your kind of like fish consumption over the last 120 days or so of your life, because that's the life cycle of red blood cells. There is a lot of science, right? But what you want to understand, you can actually measure the amount of omega-3s in your red blood cells, and that seems to be very important and a great indicator of your life expectancy. So to give you an idea, people in the US on like standard American diet usually would have that omega-3 index about 4 or 5%. People in Japan who have one of the longest life expectancies, lower like degenerative diseases index, they're healthy, they live long, and they eat a lot of seafood, obviously. If we know anything about Japan, is that they eat a lot of stuff from the sea, seaweed and seafood. And so their omega-3 index is about 11%. Rhonda Patrick, because she's so crazy about omega-3s, her index now is 16%, right? And so people with 4 or 5%, like in the US, their life expectancy is like twice as little as of people in Japan. So kind of they expect to live, the amount of years that they expect to live is somehow twice less than people of Japan. I'm not sure how exactly they, measure this life expectancy, etc. What's an interesting part of that conversation is that smokers who have really not great life expectancy, no matter how you look at it. So smokers who eat as much omega-3s and have the omega-3s index closer to Japanese. Like those smokers, life expectancy is the same as of people on standard American diet with low omega-3 index. So basically, if you consume a lot of omega-3 fatty acids and your index is high, even if you do a lot of other bullshit in your lifestyle, in your nutrition, like your life expectancy and your brain health and performance are gonna be so much higher. Not as high as of people who are healthy and on top of that eat a lot of fatty fish and supplement, but comparable to people who don't eat that fish but also don't have bad habits that really compromise our health, like smoking. By the way, guys, sorry for the noise. There is something going on. I think a floor above me, so forgive me if you hear a lot of this knocking. They're probably making some holes. Anyhow, guys, omega-3 fatty acids, they're going to prolong your life. You're going to feel better on all levels. Your health is going to be measurably better. Your life expectancy is going to be better. And these are the fats that your brain uses to build brain cells, literally. Like the more, for example, DHA you have in your brain, that's one of the omega-3s found in fish, the more nerve cells, neurons, and connections between them you're gonna have. So basically, the bigger, more robust, productive brain you're gonna have. And also, EPA, for example, are super anti-inflammatory. They might not build something, but when you have a lot of them, your inflammation levels go really down, and the brain is very sensitive to inflammation levels. Like you can experience brain fog or for example, memory problems or learning memories, or have anxiety and depression or depressive symptoms when you just have higher inflammation level. And so people who eat a lot of EPA, one of those omega-3 fatty acids, they report better mood. Or people who were more anxious and on a depressive side of things, they, after starting taking those EPAs, they also report much better mood, and depressive symptoms either getting much better or completely eliminated. So omega-3s, they're very important. And now the very practical side, like how much of these omega-3s and which form do you want to consume to get all these benefits, to increase your omega-3 index in your red blood cells, to get your higher life expectancy, obviously consuming them on a regular basis, not like, for a while. No, that's what you got to do for life. How much should you get? They say 2 grams and above. To give you an idea, a can of sardines, the whole can of sardines, would have about 1.5 grams of those omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon, depending on whether that salmon is wild or farmed, the index is going to be slightly different, and usually the omegas are going to be slightly different, but I believe it's about the same actually. So about 1.5 grams of omega-3 fatty acids you're going to get if you eat a good serving, like 5 ounces, 6 ounces of fatty fish. And then on top of that, add some fish oil. Or if you don't eat fish, or a lot of shellfish like oysters and mussels, they also do have omega-3s, but much less than fatty fish. Also, other fatty fish, by the way, guys, that are even richer in omega-3 fatty acids. Other fatty fish are herring and mackerel. So herring, mackerel, salmon, tuna doesn't have that much. So you gotta be really careful if you want to use tuna for omega-3 fatty acids. You're probably not going to be getting enough, or you're going to get a lot of contamination with heavy metals. So the legit sources and the best sources are sardines, anchovies, herring, salmon, and mackerel. Those are the best foods. I think also eel has quite a lot of omega-3s, but it's not that easy to find. Although in England, in UK, it's quite popular, right? But if you're interested in eels, omega-3s, you can just Google that. So these are the fish. And then on top of that, to get your 2 grams, and 2 grams is just minimum. I think Rhonda Patrick gets like 4 grams per day or so. And she's really obsessed, about it. She eats her sardines every day for breakfast, and she gets 3 or 4 grams of omega-3 fatty acid supplements. So, but she recommends, and what studies show will help you to increase your omega-3 index and prolong your life and make your brain happier and work better. So no less than 2 grams. Again, about 6 ounces, 180 grams of fish or a can of sardines will give you about 1.5 grams, and then on top of them you want to supplement. My personal practice, what I do, I eat my sardines every day. Sometimes I don't, especially if I travel, but it happens really rarely. And then on top of that, I supplement with 0.6 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, and I take the ones from Nordic Naturals that are available in quite a lot of places, and they have great quality. And I take specifically DHA focus because those are found predominantly in the brain. I believe it's 97% of our omega-3s in the brain are DHAs. So that's why I get Nordic Naturals DHA Extra. But so my consumption of omega-3 fatty acids is a little bit more than 3 grams. Again, a little bit more than 1.5 grams from fatty fish, and a little bit more than 1.5 grams from supplements. So 3 grams and more. And I haven't done that amount consistently for a long time, but I've been doing that for closer to 2 months now. So I'm going to continue till the rest of summer. And then I'm planning to measure my omega-3s index, maybe like in August when I'm planning to take some time off. I'm going to test that index to see how my fish eating improved my omega-3s index. So the takeaway of today, guys, if you love fish, eat your sardines every single day. And then on top of that, get some good quality omega-3 supplement. Why quality is so freaking important with omega-3 supplement? Because those omega-3s are very prone to oxidation, and if the supplement is cheap, the case usually is that the supplement doesn't have that much EPA and DHAs, the ones that you actually gonna get instead of some other omega-3s. And also, usually their process is not that great, so there is much bigger chance that those omega-3s is gonna be oxidized and gonna be pro-inflammatory, and you get all kinds of adverse reactions to that fish oil, right? Also, how can you check if your oil is oxidized or not? Well, if it's in capsule, you take a needle and make a small hole and squeeze it out onto a spoon, and then you smell it. And if it smells rancid, like this fishy, weird, really weird smell, not pleasant, not like it's fresh, then it's rancid. Or if it comes in a bottle, then you can just obviously smell it and taste it. Like, it should smell fishy, but not unpleasantly, not like your fish went bad, right? So that's the practice. If you don't like fish, then figure out how to get 2 grams of your omega-3s from supplements. And again, usually the more expensive the supplement is, the more of those omega-3s you have. So if you find cheap supplement, guess what, guys? It's probably not going to have all this much omega-3s. So look for more expensive supplement, look for good quality supplement, supplements with reviews. There are special companies who specialize in omega-3 fatty acid supplements like Nordic Naturals, but then there are other supplement companies that are even at a higher end, but usually not available everywhere in the world. Shipping is a pain in the ass, and a lot of other things, right? So if you need recommendations, reach out. I'm gonna give you my best recommendation, and whatever is available, you'll see. Get those omega-3s if you are interested to get in life expectancy, in better health, no matter what other diets or lifestyle factors you have. If you experience brain fog, memory inflammatory problems, then most probably your brain can benefit from those omega-3 fatty acids additionally. And again, go for no less than 2 grams combined from foods and supplements. And that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions about omega-3 supplements, please reach out. Also, remember that today we were talking about marine omega-3 fatty acids, the fatty acids that are in omega-3 fatty acids that are in flax seeds or walnuts or other seeds and nuts. Usually and also if you eat grass-fed meat, so the omega-3s there are different, and the conversion rate into those EPAs and DHAs that our heart and brain and overall health and brain performance love so much. So the conversion rate from the ones that you get from walnuts and flax seeds or grass-fed meat, it's very inefficient. And so to get all those omega-3s, like, good luck with that. That is not possible, right? That's why it's marine omega-3s, marine, not flaxseed oil. Like sometimes I say omega-3s and people are like, yeah, chia seeds. No, not chia seeds, right? Fish or algae if you're vegan or vegetarian. Have any questions? Reach out, guys. Share this episode with other people who are interested in maintaining their health and brain performance and their life expectancy, even when they have, some habits that are suboptimal. Hopefully not smoking, but maybe some other habits like maybe high stress levels or other suboptimal lifestyle habits or factors, or they are in conditions with a lot of pollution or stress, right? So share this episode with them. Get your omega-3s for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, for everyone. Omega-3s, right, guys? I'm not sure how sustainable it is if we all decide to eat all these omega-3s, but we'll figure it out. And when we are healthy and our brain works well, we are so much better at figuring shit out, right? So get your omega-3s. Again, my personal practice, I can have sardines with bones and skins, guys, because those are additional nutrients. Plus I get 1.5 grams of DHA extra Nordic naturals. And that's me. And get your omega-3s. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And till next time, don't just eat better, but get your omega-3s.